Now, whether you're a wee bit concerned about imbalances or perhaps the side effects of HRT, hormones can be a bit confusing. So, Dr Hilary and Dr Amir, join me now. And Hilary, we all think we know what hormones are, don't we? But I don't know that we do. Exactly what are we talking about here? Okay. What do they do in our bodies?
So we all know about HRT,
sure.
hormone replacement therapy. We talk about the menopause. That's something that people are familiar with. But there are over 50 different hormones in the body. They're chemical messengers which are sent around the body in blood and other fluids, which have a profound effect on every cell, every organ in our body. And we've all heard of the pituitary gland, we've all heard of the ovaries, the testes, but there's also the thyroid, the adrenals, and the pancreas. And they secrete hormones which have, as I say, a profound effect on different parts of the body. So they control things like blood sugar, they control stress levels, growth and development, fertility, all sorts of things, metabolism, speed and metabolism of the body. And they play a vital role in our health and well-being, and we need to look after them.
We do, and we're understanding a lot more. And Amir, Dr Hilary there mentioned thyroid. That's something, you know, that can affect everybody.
It certainly can. Morning. So the thyroid gland is a butterfly-shaped gland that lives in our neck here, and it releases thyroid hormones. Now, the jobs of these hormones is basically to control the rate at which our body works. So things like how fast our heart is beating, how quickly we're digesting food, and how much energy we release from that food and what that is used for. Now, really commonly, it is possible to get something called an underactive thyroid. The posh word for that is hypothyroidism. Okay. And that's when your gland isn't producing enough of those thyroid hormones. It's common. It affects about 15 in 1,000 women and 1 in 1,000 men. And the symptoms are quite widespread. The main cause for it is when the immune system attacks the thyroid gland itself and causes it to reduce the amount of thyroxine or thyroid hormone it's producing. Other causes are if you've had treatment for thyroid cancer or an overactive thyroid and you've had part or all of that gland removed. Now, the symptoms are when you're not producing enough of these thyroid hormones, everything slows down in your body. So you become tired all the time. You can become depressed or have anxiety and low mood. Your heart rate can go slower. You can get constipation, dry skin. Your hair can start thinning. But also your memory starts to go as well. You can become forgetful and you can get achy muscles and joints. Now, we test for an underactive thyroid through blood tests. And if it is found to be underactive, we can give you tablets to replace the lost hormones that you've got there. It's a bit of a balancing act. We do blood tests and adjust the doses until we get it right, and then we continue to monitor your thyroid hormone.
Right. It's interesting that, isn't it, Hilary, about the testing that Amir's talking about, because there isn't just one test that tells you. I mean, anybody who's gone through HRT trying to get the balance right, you know, it is a process.
It is. And thyroid conditions are common. The thyroid gland, as Amir said, is the body's thermostat. It controls the speed at which we work. So when it's overactive, which is another common condition, everything speeds up. So you get palpitations, your heart rate goes up, you lose weight, you've got bags of energy, you can't sleep, you're anxious. You probably have diarrhea rather than constipation. It's the opposite of hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism. And this is quite a common condition. So again, blood tests are useful. And we can measure in the blood not only the amount of thyroid hormone you're producing, but the pituitary hormones that control what the thyroid is doing. So the pituitary gland is like the conductor of the endocrine system orchestra, if you like. It is controlling all the other endocrine hormone organs in the body, and that's really important. The pituitary gland itself can get out of kilter and need treatment. But luckily we have treatments. We've got medication, we've got radiotherapy sometimes to control an overactive thyroid, and surgery sometimes as a last resort. But, you know, all of these things are usually means we're able to control what's going on.
Exactly, which is what we want. I mean, Amir, as we're learning more about hormone imbalance, we're finding out more about conditions like PCOS. You can do the full version, because you being a doctor and all.
I'll try. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. It is really common. It affects about 1 in 10 women. Many of them don't have any symptoms, may not know they have it, but others do have symptoms. Now, what it is the ovaries. The ovaries sit in the pelvis of people who are assigned female at birth, and one of their jobs is to release an egg every month in case you want to get pregnant. Now, to release that egg, they have to be stimulated by other hormones that come from the brain and stimulate that ovary to release that egg. But in polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, those ovaries have become resistant to those hormones, so they don't release that egg every month. And that then causes an imbalance in other hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Now, the symptoms of PCOS are generally irregular periods. You can miss periods because you're not releasing that egg every month. And you have raised levels of male sex hormones like testosterone, so you can get hair, excessive hair on your face or other body parts as well. It increases your risk of type 2 diabetes, but also, really importantly, because you're not releasing that egg every month, you might have problems getting pregnant. Now, the treatment for PCOS is we try and encourage everyone to keep to a healthy weight. That is really hard for people with PCOS because of the hormone imbalances there, but we ask them, really try hard if you can, because it can improve fertility levels and bring periods back. We might have to give them hormonal treatment like the combined contraceptive pill to help regulate their periods. But if they're really struggling to get pregnant, and so many women do with this condition, we refer them to see fertility specialists for specialist treatment. There's no cure, but it can be managed.
Gosh, it's so interesting, Hilary, because it is like hormones affect absolutely everything.
They do.
And we always talk about it in terms of females, but obviously, as you said, it can affect men as well. And different signs. And then what can we do to help ourselves?
OK, so the signs to look out for of common hormonal imbalances would include things like infertility, acne, diabetes, weight gain or weight loss, all of these things, even mood. I mean, dopamine is a hormone, it's the pleasure pathway hormone, if you like. And that can control depression and our mood. Anxiety is largely controlled by hormones as well sometimes. So they, as I say, small amounts of changes in hormone levels can have a profound effect on the body, the way we metabolize our food, the way we feel about life in general. So if people are suspicious that something's going wrong, just go and see your doctor. Talk about your symptoms, keep a diary of how you're feeling, and blood tests can be very helpful. And then there's usually either medication, surgery, or some interventions that can actually keep things under control.
Do it. So don't just sit there and not do anything.
Absolutely.
And of course, Amir, we can help ourselves. As Hilary says, the foods that you eat can actually help you. I mean, in so many ways.
It can. They can help, not necessarily balance the hormones, but keep you fit and healthy so your hormones are working as well as possible. So try and get as much protein in your diet as you can. Protein is really good. A lot of our hormones are made of amino acids, which come from protein, and we need that from our diet. So lean cuts of chicken, fish, but also things like tofu, beans, and pulses. Healthy fats, really important. I know I talk about omega-3 fatty acids all the time, but they are so good, particularly for hormones. They can help reduce our stress hormones, cortisol. You find them in oily fish like salmon and mackerel. One of my patients once said, fish and chips is oily fish. It's not. It's salmon and mackerel. And then you can get them in walnuts and chia seeds as well. Make fibre your best friend. Get as much fibre in your diet as you can from vegetables, beans, pulses, nuts and seeds, of course. Fibre helps our gut microbiome. We talk about that a lot, but the gut microbiome helps regulate our hormones as well. And get 30 plants into your diet each week. Remember, spices, herbs, all of those count too. And reduce your refined sugar intake, because that will help with your insulin sensitivity, a really important hormone, and reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes. So all of these things, keeping healthy will help your hormones work best.
Exactly. Amir, thank you so much. And Hilary, as you've always said, get moving as well.
Absolutely.
Keep yourself active.
Yeah, 4 things to add to the healthy foods. Get enough sleep.
Yep.
Reduce your stress levels, plenty of exercise, control your weight.
Exactly.
That's the endocrine system done.
There we are, we're done.
In 9 minutes.
Thank you so much, both of you.